Now let's dive into, you know, look at a CXO or head of customer service, and these is what these executives are facing today. These are the challenges that we're seeing specific to these roles. First of all, CX, customer experience and engagement, is a top of mind of many senior executives, not just CXOs, but almost any senior executive in the organization, is thinking about and figure, asking themselves, are we meeting customer expectations? Can we increase customer loyalty? Can we reduce churn? Those are top of mind. On top of that, there's still, in some cases, even more policy and compliance regulations. Are we compliant? Both with internal regulations and external and legal requirements. Are we managing complaints and escalations in an effective way? Then efficiency and cost continues to be a key part of solving the engagement capacity gap. How do we do this more efficient? How do we do more with less, right? How can we reduce costs? Can we transition to self-service? What can we transition to self-service in a way that doesn't hurt the customer engagement? All that needs to be powered by real insights, by customer insights. Do I understand what customers need and what they want and why they're calling us or why they're interacting with us, and constantly monitoring and collecting that insight and sharing that and taking action on that. Revenue and growth, obviously important to many functions and for any company, right? But it's really about how do we maximize the opportunity? So a lot of we've seen revenue growth through phone channel, through other, text channels where, that replaced to some, the human to human interactions in branches. But we see that opportunities, continues, and companies that did effectively sell through these digital channels did much better. And then finally, get back to the remote employee. you know, how do you hire? How do you train? How do you supervise? How do you motivate employees when they're working from home? And do they have the skills and all the tools they need? So all of these, create a challenging environment, and you need a platform or set of solutions that really can support these challenges. So, how our organization, addressing and responding to these challenges is, I know if you're familiar with DMG Consulting, it's an excellent, they could come up with very good reports in this area for many years. And this is one of their latest report, that was, I think it's posted online, so you can look through that. And really, these are the top 5 contact center technology priorities for 2021. And I don't think these are surprising, but I think I want to go through for a second and look at this. First, self-service. Obviously, I think every organization realized that they need solutions like IVRs and IVAs and bots to really self-serve, to address the surge in requirements and engagement from customers. That's pretty obvious. It reduces the cost, it adds scale, but obviously doing this right is not trivial. The second really imperative is cloud. We've seen a huge transition to cloud, and one of the reasons is overall it can save costs. The total cost of ownership in most cases is much, it's much more effective, but it's also the agility. You're much more nimble when you're in the cloud. You can change things, you can add capabilities, you can add solutions. And Veren's been very, very focused on helping organization make that transition to the cloud, which is not always easy. We allow this ability to maintain and leverage what you have on prem, but slowly add services in the cloud. And then if you look at the next 3, speech and text analytics is really the third imperative. And I think part of it is because of the need for those insights to understand and listen deeply to your customers. But also, even if you think of the first 2, is being able to add these capabilities in the cloud, as well as identifying what can be self-served. What are the interactions that we're hearing, people calling, that we can transition to self-service? What are the actual words and phrases? So I'm not surprised that that is the third. And then the fourth, related to that, is really democratizing these insights through reports that can be shared in dashboards across the enterprise. So everybody, you're breaking down those silos of data and insights. And finally, quality. When you talk about compliance, many organizations have this process of manually reviewing, a small percentage of interactions. Now, if you're in one location, you can walk the floor. There's other things you can do. But if you're remote, you really want to extend that and have full coverage. How do you, monitor 100% of interactions to really create a foolproof compliance program and much higher level of quality management? And these are fed also from the same analytics engines. So you can see 3 of the 5 key priorities are related to what we're talking today is interaction insights, and we'll touch on real-time work in a minute.